Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. To get ourselves a treat.
I'm a little mad, T-Kettle.
Oh, I know, dude. I know why you're mad, but for the sake of the people listening, why are you mad?
I did not get to see John Wick, unfortunately. So it's gonna be totally you.
Yeah,
totally you.
Of course, I had to see John Wick.
You had to see. You saw it twice in 2 days.
I did see it twice.
And I just got a text from my friend Larry. Literally, this is just coincidence, but it's true. And he sent me a link to John Wick. He's like, "Dude, you gotta see this movie." And I'm like, "I tried, but it was sold out." It was sold out at both theaters that I go to that are close to me. I'm like, "Dang, that's crazy."
Yeah, I like how he sent you the link to it because it kind of implies that like you don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, he didn't like Avengers Endgame for some, but I love Larry. Larry, if you're listening, shout out, I love you. But he does have some very strange tastes in movies. Like, he did not like Blade Runner 2049 at all.
Okay, well, so I knew you're saying that to me because you're like, okay, I gotta get him heated.
Yeah, he really liked Venom.
Oh.
And he really liked Alita, and he said he liked Alita more than Infinity War, which everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Is he a film critic?
He's not a film critic. He's just a random
casual moviegoer.
He's just a casual moviegoer. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I will say I tend to disagree with Larry's opinion.
It happens, man.
Much more often than not. But he is saying he loves John Wick, and that's why he sent me a link, because it said John Wick finally got #1 spot over Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, I don't think... It doesn't look like Endgame's going to be Avatar, dude, and I can't believe it.
It's like less than 0.2 away.
Is it?
Like,
I don't know, man.
I looked it up when I saw
it. Beat it domestically, but not internationally. Like, already it beat Avatar domestically.
What was it, like? It was like 2.7 that it had to beat, right?
Yeah, for worldwide, for international.
It was at 2.5 when I checked it
really?
Friday.
Well, then it might beat it, then.
It might beat it.
It might beat it. So that's $200 million. It needs to make another $200 million. Do you think it's possible?
Sure.
All right.
It depends on how long it stays in, and it depends on how many people haven't seen it already.
Yeah. Plus, Captain Marvel got a huge boost when Endgame came out, so maybe Spider-Man: Far From Home is going to boost Avengers: Endgame again.
Perhaps
when it comes out. So
the fact that they're going to be in at the same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I have another rant for you though. Something you don't know about.
What's up?
Here. All right. So I know this is kind of movie talk, but kind of not, because it's a different realm. This is about like independent filmmakers such as myself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about Adobe, the software?
No.
Because we use Adobe Premiere to do
recently.
This. Yeah, we and guess what they're doing?
What?
Okay, so let me just set this tone for you. So,
oh boy.
Adobe Premiere, Adobe Creative Cloud is a subscription service, right? Mm-hmm. That I pay for.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think I heard about this. Like,
and
they're increasing the price though, right?
They not only are they increasing the price, but get this though. Okay, you update per when they update, right? Sure. So they give you a new version. You can either keep the old version or update to the new version, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I updated my Mac OS, which is a separate thing, and my computer has been slow as shit ever since, right? Sure. And I'm like, okay, I'm never updating anything, and that includes Creative Cloud, because what if I update my Adobe and it's even slower, right? I contact a representative at Adobe and I ask her this question. I'm like, hey, like, should I update? Because I don't want to update and for it to be like a slug, And then she told me straight up, she's like, don't update. She's like, don't update, right?
Oh, boy.
Guess what? 2 days ago, it's, Adobe decided...
Did it automatically update?
No. 2 days ago, Adobe decided to send letters to all of their customers, to all their people who are involved in the subscription, and say, hey, we're having this new policy to where you need to update. And if you don't update and you keep older versions of your software, that's copyright infringement. And we have the right to sue you.
No.
Are you insane?
No.
I'm being dead serious. And dude, Dolby, Dolby, the film company, they're suing. They're suing Adobe Premiere because they say that's a breach of contract to them because they use Premiere for stuff.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's so fucked up. Adobe, if you're listening, no wonder people are going to DaVinci Resolve now. Because I remember a long time ago, it was Final Cut. Final Cut was like the huge thing. And then Final Cut X was released, and Final Cut X was so abysmal. People were like, all right, we're jumping to the Premiere, the Adobe bandwagon, right? Mm-hmm. And That's what I did too. I'm like, Premiere is amazing. I am never changing. Honestly, after the crap they've been pulling, like so many people have been experiencing technical issues and bugs. We've experienced bugs with Adobe many times.
Dude, your computer cannot handle this.
I know. I'm almost thinking maybe it's not even my OS and it's just Adobe at this point, in all honesty. Like, it might just be Adobe now that I'm thinking about it. Because, like, so many people have been having problems with Adobe, and they've been voicing their frustration and switching to DaVinci Resolve, which is like another editing software. Yeah. And even my friend Rob, who's another filmmaker, he said, yeah, DaVinci Resolve is amazing. He's like, I like, you need to switch. And if I had the money, I would switch. But like, this is ridiculous. You're sending threatening emails to the people who are paying for your service. They're still paying $30 a month, even if they don't update. So why are you saying, oh, you need to update, otherwise we're going to sue you?
That's fucked.
Now, they might obviously not do that for, like, smaller people like me, because, you know, I'm like a nobody, you know, so if I edit using that, they're not going to sue me. But if someone big like Dolby, like if Dolby or Warner Brothers or Universal or Fox or Disney use it, is Adobe going to sue Disney because they used a younger version of the software? That's stupid. That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, they have computers that can handle it. Like,
they
do,
yeah.
They have the technology.
But I'm just saying,
and the money too.
But I'm just saying, the fact that Dolby is suing Adobe because of that, it just shows how like wrong Adobe is. And that same representative who I DM'd, by the way, who told me not to update, I emailed her again, or DM'd her again, and I'm like, hey, considering you told me not to update, what am I supposed to do now, considering you're threatening people with lawsuits who don't update? She didn't respond. She's not responded.
I mean, it wasn't her fault. She was trying to give you like a under the cup, like a whisper.
No,
like,
oh yeah,
hey,
she
bad idea.
No, she probably did, but at the same time, come on. Come on.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shoot the messenger, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but it's
not a great situation.
Are you serious? I can't believe Adobe's doing that. I hope they overrule it soon because it's honestly ridiculous.
There's so many like obstacles coming in your way lately that like prevent you from doing your job.
I know.
From doing any
This
work.
is my livelihood, dude. Like, editing is my livelihood, and I can't like afford. I can't afford to go to another software right now. I can't afford to go to a DaVinci Resolve, which I also think is subscription based. It's like, that's crazy. And now they're upping the price too. So what me and my friend, because we share one, what we have to do is probably just like cancel our subscription entirely and just keep the older versions we have. You know, but Adobe says if you do that, we can sue you. Fucking ridiculous. It's so dumb. It's honestly ridiculous.
Damn, dude, you're having a rough time, man.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got something new?
No, I'm just looking at some articles here. It says Adobe customers using old software threatened with legal action. Company in battle with Adobe. That's what we just discussed. But now, this is yesterday. They just released something. This is an article from DIY Photography. Adobe panics, knocks off 40% off all apps CC annual package for a limited time. Oh, wow. A limited discount? Well, we forgive you, Adobe. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, if it's gonna last for like a month and then it just goes
back
to
like
prices,
wow.
Go fuck yourself.
Wow, Adobe, okay.
That's so generous of you.
Yeah, look at this. This is from techthelead.com. Adobe warns users they can get sued if they use old Photoshop versions. So stupid. Like, what is wrong with this company, dude? No wonder people are switching to DaVinci. This is ridiculous. So Adobe, if you're listening, you're losing customers. And this needs to stop. Seriously.
I won't say anything. I'm not a customer. I could just jump off the leash right here, but I'm not.
But still, like, this is stupid.
That's stupid.
It's like, and then like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna send? Like a signal that just prevents people from using older softwares? So you're gonna lock me out of the program that I'm paying for? Like, is that what you're gonna end up doing? Because that's insane. That's insane to me. Like, that they can do that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not illegal to use a program that we're paying for. We're not stealing it. We're paying for it. Mm-hmm. You stupid. You stupid. You dumb. You donkey.
I mean, like, what do they get like out of it?
I have no idea.
Have the new technology or whatever. Like, what do they get if somebody else uses it?
I know. They're still getting the money. They're still getting money. So what do they get out of someone updating it? Like, why is it their concern if I update it or not? Or someone like me, like someone who's more independent and just kind of a no-budget filmmaker, updates it or not? Like, I don't understand it.
I don't know. It's confusing. It's a weird business strategy that has completely backfired.
It really has, and hopefully they cut this shit out because the backlash has been pretty big in the film community. So, fucking, it's so stupid, dude. It's so dumb. Anyway.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
News might just be something I love.
Back to you, fuckers!
News. All right, so...
Fuck you, San Diego.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Go fuck yourself, Adobe Premiere Pro. All right, Mortal Kombat movie announced to be the biggest in Australia's history, with a March 5th, 2021 release date, and they have a director on board finally, which is Simon McQuaid. It's McQuaid, so I don't know how to really pronounce that. McQuaid, probably? Yeah, McQuaid, probably. Simon McQuaid, let's just call him that. This is his first movie.
Okay.
His first feature-length movie, so this is his debut.
I was going to ask that next.
And James Wan is still producing it because he's been in talks of producing a Mortal Kombat movie forever. So it's finally happening. It's finally happening. So, what are you?
Well, we just kind of talked about this
Yeah,
yesterday.
I
actually don't like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
story.
for the viewers listening, aka the one viewer who is a friend of mine who is probably listening, why don't you elaborate on your feelings about Mortal Kombat?
I don't know. I thought it was a very, convoluted, premise, and it's just, it basically just sets up for, people to just fight each other, which can work out, or whatever, but,
But it's a fighting game.
Okay, yes. But, I don't think that any of the characters' arcs are that, compelling by any means. I'm sorry.
Bruh.
But anyway, the first some people like the original Mortal Kombat movie. Oh, the first two or whatever.
Well, I mean, not a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people know, they say it's, campy fun, but they know it's not a good movie.
Yeah, my brother likes it, but
Really?
he likes bad movies, so...
Yeah, I mean, it is a bad movie. It's nowhere near as, Annihilation bad. The Annihilation makes the first Mortal Kombat looks like a masterpiece,
So, but if you're going to throw a ton of money at this movie, at the very least, the spectacle can be amazing.
Here's the thing about Mortal Kombat, though, with me. And I haven't really played the game, but I just started editing for my friend David. And he runs Uncaged Games, which is a very heavily fighting game / mostly Mortal Kombat themed YouTube channel. He doesn't only do that, but that's his main thing, I mean, Uncaged Games. Caged is because his favorite character is Johnny Cage. So I watch his videos, and I do my own research about the lore because I do like the lore. So even though I haven't played the games, I know a fair bit. I know a fair bit about the lore of Mortal Kombat. And let me tell you, dude, on a superficial level, if you just look at the game, it doesn't seem like it's that interesting. But Mortal Kombat is one of the only games that actually one of the only fighting games that really does actually have a compelling story and actually have a really kind of a story that tries. Other fighting games like Street Fighter or Tekken, they don't really have a story at all. You know what I mean? They've even foregone with the whole tournament thing and have gone just straight for a narrative.
Yeah. I mean, that was never the focus of it. There was definitely, mechanics for, games like that. And that's why Street Fighter is definitely a bigger game for, competitive play, is because the mechanics are probably a little bit better.
I mean, I can't speak to that. I mean, I know David would speak
Yeah,
more
he would
to it on
probably
that.
be fighting me on it, but it's whatever.
I should probably give him a call and just...
No, okay, I don't really want to talk to him because I know that he would just dick on me. He would, he knows a lot more about fighting games.
No, he would probably destroy you. He would slam dunk. He would slam dunk all your arguments.
Yeah, fighting games are, not my specialty.
Exactly. But when it comes to the lore of Mortal Kombat, there are some awesome characters in Mortal Kombat. Really cool characters.
Yeah.
And they all have different personalities. Sub-Zero and Scorpion. That's an awesome arc. The whole, clans fighting, the Lin Kuei, and all that, and all that. And then you got Cyber Lin Kuei, which are, robot versions of the Lin Kuei. Okay. And you got, factions, warring factions within.
Even all that... All that being said,
yeah.
Do you think that within one movie's runtime they can make it function fluidly?
I think in one movie's runtime it's going to be kind of more of an origin story, for lack of a better word, not a traditional origin story, but first of all, tournament films get a bad rep. I think tournament films have a lot of potential because you can set up a ton of characters and kind of just introduce the audience to a ton of characters and their personalities and who they are. You know what I mean? Especially if you give more focus to the main characters, which I assume would be Liu Kang, who's kind of like the Ryu to Mortal Kombat. You know, he's more of the main kind of protagonist sort of thing. So obviously you can give more spotlight on some of these characters in the movie and some of the more main characters, and then you kind of have like the side players.
And kind of introduce them as he kind of like meets the other
people. And meets and fights them. And I think it would be cool to have kind of a tournament plot thread in the first movie, like a tournament kind of structure. I think would be really cool, because if you do a tournament structure in a movie, the movie is almost kind of written for you. Like the whole structure is there. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can have character development when they're not fighting, and then the fighting when they're fighting. That's when the action happens.
Yeah. And this budget, like the murder mayhem. Yeah. Because that's what it's famous for. It can be awesome.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
bloody mess.
It's gonna be probably a little too gross for me to handle because I'm not huge on gore. But I think there's so much potential with Mortal Kombat because again, the lore is great. The characters are all defined and they all have their own very, very different personalities and characteristics, and it's super cool. And it's just one thing I will say about video games in general is like, video games are at the forefront to me when it comes to new original storytelling. Yeah. And when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I think they're no exception because they're constantly reinventing characters. Like Ermac was nothing but a red ninja skin for like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Now he's like the harbinger of like souls of the dead. You know what I mean? It's like they change up these characters, and there's a lot of really cool lore behind them. It's
yeah. I guess another thing in your guys' favor is that when they released the movie back in 1995, the world of Mortal Kombat was definitely not as fleshed out.
No, definitely not at all. They had characters but no depth. Yeah. And now they actually have depth and characters and all that. So maybe David will come back at you and slam dunk on you.
That's fine. I can eat my own words. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully we'll get him on here. Maybe when who knows? Maybe in 2021 when the Mortal Kombat is released.
So he can come back to this one moment in time to just be like, yeah, you thought wrong.
Yeah, bitch. You thought wrong, bitch. Shout out David. But Simon McQuaid, first-time director. He hasn't he's directed like commercials and stuff. So
kind of weird that they're throwing all this money at him before.
I know. His talents. I know. They're saying this is going to be the biggest production in Australia's history, and I guess that includes like Mad Max and Fury Road, which was that also shot in Australia? Fury Road?
I don't know.
I think it might be. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up for you.
Look it up for me. Ya bitch. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Simon McQuaid. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That's crazy. Like, this is his only IMDb credit. Is this movie, Mortal Kombat 2021. So, and James Wan really likes to kind of give first-time directors their due, and I totally get that, and I totally respect that. But at the same time, I mean, sometimes you don't want, like, a situation where a director goes into a project that's way too big for him, Yeah. And sometimes directors really have to ease into films like that because they crumble under the pressure. Some of them don't, like the Russo brothers didn't.
God, IMDb, I'm like, it's not. Oh, here we go. Filming locations, yeah.
Australia?
No, I don't even know how do you say that? But...
Let me see. Oh, another thing. Namib Desert, Nambia?
Yeah.
Nambia? Okay, so, what does it say above that, though?
Australia, USA, so I guess...
Okay, I guess they shot...
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid. They shot in different locations. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's going to be the biggest in Australia's history, so that's going to be insane. I'm kind of curious. How
can you not be?
I know, right?
I just love the way you sent this next one, though.
Yeah, this next one's funny.
Chris Rick
rebooting Saw. Yes, this is real. Another James Wan produced thing. Chris Rock has signed on to reboot the Saw franchise. Not okay with this.
Yeah, no, I'm done with it.
The Saw franchise needs to stop. It needs to die. It's done.
It's like...
The last one flopped hard.
It's not even 20 years old. There's like 8 or 9 movies in the franchise.
Yeah, there's 8.
Well, yeah. Plus, there's the Jigsaw movie.
Which is the 8th one. Yeah.
Oh, that's the 8th one?
Yeah.
But is it though?
Yeah.
No, there's a reason why I say that, but you don't. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
Never mind.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't watch those movies. The thing is like, the whole Saw fad is gone. They never got good reviews. No critic liked them. Maybe they were financial.
They didn't really make money.
I mean, like, they probably made money in compared to their budget, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
But compared to like other films, no, that's like nothing. You know, so they're probably trying to appeal to the hardcore fan base. But even the hardcore fan base of Saw is no more, which is evident in the fact that the last one was a complete flop. You know why? Because James Wan, and I've said this before, has gone on record and said he did not like the Saw franchise. Because the first Saw is very different. It's almost more of a mystery than just straight torture porn, which is what the series became. So he came out and he even said he didn't like the Saw franchise. So I'm so confused.
Yeah, because it wasn't the same.
Yeah, and then when he kind of came back to horror and like revitalized it with what horror should be, which is more atmosphere and scares and actual creative writing and character development, people were like, oh, you know what? You're right. Saw's done for. And then people kind of migrated to the new horror movement, the Blumhouse movement, you know?
Blumhouse movement, yeah.
You know? Especially early Blumhouse, which they were making hit after hit when it came to horror. And then like the whole Saw thing was done. So why are you trying to bring it back?
I don't know. Maybe he wants to return to its roots?
I hope so. Like it's more like mystery kind of noir roots. I hope so. Because I don't want to see people getting
I don't know.
Tortured.
I don't really know Chris Rock's like sensibilities outside
me neither.
of like
What's
comedy.
Chris Rock gonna bring to the table?
Yeah.
There's a lot of comedians now doing horror, like Jordan Peele, Danny McBride, John Krasinski, freaking Chris Rock now.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't understand it.
I don't know, man. I mean, I do feel like comedy and horror can go together.
Of course.
Like, especially with the Key and Peele like sketches.
Yeah.
It's like they really are like black comedy or whatever, and it's like kind of like creepy, and then it's like, hey, it's all joke, like, hey, like,
hey,
yeah. Then all you have to do is remove that, hey, it's all joke, and just keep going and just take it as far as it can.
I totally agree. But Chris Rock seems so far away from Saw to me.
Yeah.
Because Saw is like just depressing. It's just people dying. And not the first Saw. The first Saw, again, is different. It's the only good one of the franchise, and that's because James Wan's directed it. If James Wan is not directing a Saw film, I do not care. I do not want to see a Saw film not directed by James Wan, because I feel like he's the only one who can actually make it good.
Yeah.
You know? Again, if they return it back to its... Because the first Saw was about trying to find a killer. It was about a detective trying to look for a killer.
Yeah. And then the
next ones are just about
killing
people.
The scope kind of changed, and then it kind of became like, oh, let's sympathize with the guy that's behind it all.
Yeah, exactly. Let's focus more on Jigsaw. Let's focus more on the killer. It's kind of like Silence of the Lambs. Like the first Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter is not the main bad guy. He's just the guy who's helping the detective look for the main bad guy. But then the next movies were like, you know what, let's focus on that character because he's the most interesting character. And then you know what happened? The next ones sucked. You know,
Yeah.
That's kind of what they did with Saw. It's like let's not focus on Danny Glover, the detective. Let's not focus on like, you know, whatever. Let's focus on Jigsaw because he's the most interesting character. It's like, nah, dude, no. You know?
Yeah.
I'm sick. I don't find amusement out of people just dying in gruesome ways and for no reason, for just gratuity.
Not at all.
You know? It's ridiculous. There's not even a reason behind it.
If you did, this podcast would be a lot different.
It would be a lot different. It would be a horror podcast. When are they going to go back to, like, Saw and Hostel, man? You know?
Oh, I love that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. Come on, dude. No, again, there's no story to these films, dude. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe I should give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Chris Rock can bring something to it. Maybe he's trying to have, like, a change of direction.
Yeah, who knows? I don't really know what he likes outside of comedy.
Me neither. I don't really think I've seen him do much of anything serious.
No, I can't say the same.
I mean, he's probably done like dramedies, you know, like comedic films with like really dramatic elements to them. But
he did do that movie Top 5.
Top 5 is what I was thinking of.
That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was really good. He directed that too, right?
Yeah.
But that was kind of a comedy drama, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I've never seen him do just like a full-fledged... Like, he's breaking out of a genre. He's going into horror.
Yeah.
The most genre of genres, you know?
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best, I guess.
I guess so. Chris Rock, I'm rooting for you. let's talk about some casting news. Jermaine Clement, your boy,
Yeah.
has joined Avatar 2.
Do you think that this means I'm gonna go see it? Like,
Yeah, are you gonna see it?
no.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, I might have to.
I feel
that's
like,
just
oh
out of-
yeah,
out of obligation
We
or
have
whatever.
to. But dude, this hype is so gone. We've talked about this to death. But speaking of Jermaine Clement, though, because I know that's your boy,
Play to the comments.
I don't know if we had this conversation before, at least maybe off the podcast. Have you ever just gone to a movie just because someone you liked was starring in it?
Maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
I can't remember doing that.
Because I remember my sister and my god sister, actually wanted to see Aquaman
Because of Jason Momoa.
because of Jason Momoa, and I'm like, but they're like, oh, but I don't really have any interest in superhero films, but Jason Momoa's in it, and I'm like,
Yeah, because he's hot.
because he's hot, and I'm like, okay, but
Yeah, I've heard that a lot actually.
yeah, I remember a long time ago when Jennifer's Body was coming out, people were like, I remember kids in my class were like, yo, you seen Jennifer's Body? And I'm like, nah, dude, that movie looks terrible. And they're like, yeah, but dude, Megan Fox is in it, dude, and she looks hot, bro, like, and she makes out with a chick, and I'm like, yeah, but the movie looks terrible though. So it's like, why am I gonna go out of my way to spend money to watch a movie?
You can't explain that to fucking normies, dude.
That's
You
true.
can't do
Like
that.
that's true. I'm like, I'm not gonna go out of my way. If my favorite actor in the world, I don't know, if Christian Bale is like one of my favorite modern actors, if he was in a movie that looked absolute dog shit, I wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna only see it just because Christian Bale is in it.
Just imagine that that one Liam Neeson movie that came out at the beginning of the year was Christian Bale. Like, that wouldn't change.
Oh
anything.
yeah.
That wouldn't change anything.
It wouldn't change anything. Although that movie did kind of get decent reviews, I will say.
Yeah.
Cold Pursuit.
Cold Pursuit.
Cold Pursuit. No, but yeah. You know, I don't know.
No, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
That's like an old mindset I might have had back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to be interested in all fronts, and I usually like to see what people say about it.
For sure.
before I go.
Are you gonna see Avatar 2 before the review? Are you gonna see it kind of like opening day or opening weekend, or are you gonna wait till reviews
I mean,
come
how
out?
long does it have to come out? It's what, like another year?
It's
from now?
2021.
I have a lot of time to think about it.
That's true. All right, let's talk about more casting news. One that you're not thinking of because I just added this because this was just released yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, all right. I'm just gonna name this for you. So Emma Thompson,
Okay.
you know who that is, right?
Yes.
Joins Emma Stone
Okay.
in Cruella. You know the Cruella Deville.
So I'm assuming she's playing Cruella.
Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy
makes
because
sense.
that's what I thought, right? That's what makes sense.
Oh
I'm
no!
like,
dude.
I'm like, oh yeah, Emma
wait,
Thompson.
Emma Stone is playing her?
Emma Stone is playing Cruella.
What? That is weird.
It is weird. I saw that and I'm like, I saw the headline and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, Emma Thompson is Cruella. Like I can see that. You know,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
And then it says Emma Thompson joining Emma Stone, who plays Cruella, and I'm like, you guys flip flopped it so hard. Like, Emma Thompson is perfect for Cruella.
Huh.
You're telling me Emma Stone? That's such a weird casting choice.
Yeah. Maybe she's like her.
Like a younger version of Cruella.
Maybe there's like a younger version and an older version.
Oh, maybe they're playing the same
Character.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah. You like that, Dad?
Don't call me Dad. I Poppy.
So I mean that could be.
You're just not going to acknowledge that I Poppy joke? Okay.
No.
All right.
because I don't know what it is.
That's from David Pumpkins.
I don't know what that is.
All right, well.
That's
all
why I
right.
didn't acknowledge the joke.
All
I didn't know
right.
it was a joke.
All right,
Yeah.
well, never mind then.
So I mean that's obviously an option.
That could be an option. I didn't think of that. That's a good observation because Emma Thompson is perfect for Cruella. I was like, yeah.
It's gonna really confuse me with the names though. I always used to say
Emma
like,
Thompson.
Yeah, Emma Stone. I used to always mix like not because like I thought
Yo.
they were the same person by any means.
Just throw Emma Watson in there.
yeah,
Like-
dude, just too much, too many.
and then Gemma Arterton or something. So it's Emma Gemma.
No.
She hasn't been in anything. What's Gemma Arterton been up to? She hasn't been in like anything.
I don't know. I don't think I
Wow.
can pick her out of a lineup. I'll be honest with you.
Oh damn. Cruella, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know anything about that character. Like,
About
whatsoever.
one Dalmatians. She's very evil. Her last name is literally Devil. Cruella Deville.
So,
you know.
like, is she like an animal abuser?
She's an animal. She she's like wants like dog fur coats. Like she loves fur coats.
Yeah.
And she wants to make them out of the Dalmatians.
Really? Oh, that's fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why people would hate her.
Oh yeah. Well, her last name is literally Devil.
I mean,
you know?
yeah, but like, I mean, your last name could be Devil, and like, you could be, redeeming yourself and being, donating to.
If they pull a fucking Maleficent thing,
No.
If they pull a Maleficent thing where they try to make this character sympathetic, I'm gonna be like, dude, fuck you. Don't do that. Like, this character better lose or die at the end of this film.
No, dude, you gotta wait for the Avengers of the Disney villains.
I know. Which, speaking of Maleficent, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about our last bit of casting news and last bit of news. Robert Pattinson, the
baby.
boy,
Yeah, I do like Robert Pattinson.
has most likely been cast as the new Batman. Some people are saying that the deal's not done yet, but they say it's basically done. Like, they say it's.
I mean, it's
going to
enough
be
for
done.
people to know about it.
Yeah, it's like everyone's talking about it. People are already starting petitions, which aren't going to do damn shit near anything.
Yeah, I mean, because come on, we're already. People have started one for like, let's redo season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Let's redo Last Jedi. Like, stop with these petitions.
I mean, they're not going to do anything, but they are pretty funny.
Jake was he said it the best. He said petitions have just become a meme at this point.
I mean, yeah, they kind of are a meme.
Yeah.
I've thought that they were a meme once I saw let's get what's his name? I already Danny DeVito, let's get him to play Detective Pikachu.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I signed the shit out of that.
yeah. This is completely fucking stupid.
That'd have been fun.
Yeah, so stupid. But Robert Pattinson, you know what? I can kind of see it.
The reason, like, I think we can probably see it is only because we're familiar with his more like,
with his
indie
other
films.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody who only knows him for Twilight is probably like, I can understand why they would be upset about
this.
This.
Let's make something very clear. Nobody hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, nobody. He hates it. He did it strictly for money. And that's why he got his bank, he got his money, and now he's been doing, like, indie dramas. Yep.
Like Lost City of Zed, Good Time. What else? What's it called?
Cosmopolis. And then he was in, was he in Dunkirk?
He was not in Dunkirk.
Wait, no, shit, no, sorry. Wait, you said Lost City is, that's the one I was thinking of, my bad.
Yeah. He's a really good actor.
Oh, The Rover, yeah.
The Rover, that's what it is. Thank you, yes. The Rover is such a good movie, and his performance is amazing.
Dude, did I ever tell you that I actually didn't like that movie until Brian talked with me about it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brian changed my mind on a movie, which was crazy.
That is crazy. Brian actually showed me.
I love Brian. Brian mentioned.
Brian mentioned, baby. He showed me The Rover, and I loved it immediately. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
See, the thing with Robert Pattinson is, like, again, Robert Pattinson, I think, first of all, he has a very youthful appearance, even though he is 33. And they're going for a much more younger Batman. That's what Matt Reeves has said, the director, who, by the way, is an amazing director. Mm-hmm. And he said they're going for much more of a younger Batman, kind of like a Batman Year One, which you said you'd never read that comic, but that's what it is. It's like the first year of Batman. Batman is more inexperienced. He's trying to figure out the ropes of everything. Batman Begins took elements from it. What I think they're going to do is probably do a Batman Year One, but use the Court of Owls instead of the League of Shadows. That's my guess. I don't know.
Just so we see something different?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But, again, the people who know him from Twilight, that's not a good representation of his acting talent, because, let me tell you, the dude can act.
Yeah.
He puts his all into it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even though he's gonna be Batman, and I think that's cool and all, I mean, we can't deny that we're kind of tired of Batman.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I was just telling you this yesterday.
Yep.
But I do believe in Batman fatigue. I feel like I've had a little bit enough of Batman. I feel like it's just too much. It's too much.
It really is.
Because we're not only oversaturated with live action versions of Batman, but animated versions, video games. You know, the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't even think about that expanding outside of the cinematic universes.
It's a lot, you know, and I almost felt that with Spider-Man a little bit, because like Batman, this is Spider-Man had its third reboot in 10 years, but the thing is that Spider-Man was owned by Sony, and Sony didn't really do a lot with the character as much as DC does with Batman outside of movies. you know? Yeah. And also, the way they got around that was they changed almost everything about the character in Homecoming, which I understand why they did, and on one hand was a good side, was a good thing, but on the other side is like, you kind of lost the essence of the character, but that's another conversation. What do you think? Like Batman, like you think the same thing with Batman?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing with Batman. I just don't really know if they're going to be able to tell, like, an interesting story or more like make him a more compelling character than they did in The Dark Knight.
Exactly, because if this turns out to be great, this is literally a mirror of Spider-Man, because we had a great trilogy, Spider-Man, the Dark Knight trilogy, and then we had that middle black sheep, which is the Amazing Spider-Man, and then the Batman vs Superman Justice League.
Yep.
And then if the Batman is great, then it's going to be the Homecoming, the Batman. It's like a mirror of it.
That would be like DC's like the same thing.
Yeah, that would be the weirdest parallel.
Yeah.
And this is another thing.
That's a perfect character to do it for, too.
Yeah, for real. I hope it's good. I don't know what they can change to make it interesting. This is what I want. I want the more comic book side of Batman. I'm talking, I want to see, like, Killer Croc and, like, the Mad Hatter and, like, a more weird, almost supernatural version of the Scarecrow. You know, I want to see these, like, Mr. Freeze. I want to see Mr. Freeze, like a cool version of Mr. Freeze.
Not one that says, like, freeze puns every
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice
Age. Freeze, bird boy.
Oh boy.
So dumb.
That was a line. I remember those other two.
Yeah.
That third one, really?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's bad.
Freeze, bird boy. All right, everybody, chill.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that movie is that movie's hilarious to watch because it's so bad, but it's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I see and hear new puns every time I watch that film.
Really?
I don't know how deep that writer's room was. Like, it's crazy how many puns are in that film. I'm sure there's more puns in that film than any other film in existence. It's insane.
Let's write down every adjective that is associated with the cold.
Yeah.
Like, and then let's put them in there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So dumb. But yeah, I want to see, and if you know the lore of Mr. Freeze, it's actually pretty amazing. And Mr. Freeze is actually one of the most powerful Batman villains.
Really?
As a matter of fact, in the Arkham game, you can't even, like, defeat him. You just have to, like, outsmart him.
Yeah, which, that's a really cool boss fight.
It is.
You have to keep switching it up, because he keeps learning. It's like his machine that keeps learning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah, it is cool. So I want to see, like, that. You know, we've had the super realistic tone. We've had, like, the weird Zack Snyder. And I want something, like, more accurate to the comics, okay? I don't want, like, purple gloves on him. But I want something a little more comic accurate.
Yeah.
Batman's first appearance, he was wearing purple gloves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man.
Good for him. Good for him.
Oh, High Life is another one he was in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We were just talking about. I still need to see that.
I mean, look at these independent dramas that, like, no one's ever heard of. The Rover, Map to the Stars, Queen of the Desert. Map to the
Stars was not that good.
Is that Warren Beatty? Did he? Oh,
it's Soderbergh.
Oh, or no, David Cronenberg.
Oh, David Cronenberg. That's what it is. Sorry. Like I said to you before,
I didn't know he was.
I confused those two. I don't know why.
No, I got you.
I don't know why.
I got you. Queen of the Desert. Werner Herzog did that. He did Life, The Childhood of a Leader, Lost City of Zed, Good Time, Fear and Shame, Damsel, High Life, and then The Lighthouse, which is coming out this year.
Oh yeah, Damsel, the Western.
Yeah. So, and then he's got The King, Waiting for the Barbarians, The Devil All the Time, and then The Batman. So this is his first big budget movie in years.
God, he gets a lot of work.
He does, and that's the thing. But it's all non-mainstream.
Never.
He doesn't do mainstream films.
Yeah.
This is his return to the mainstream. So a lot of the normies out there, or the general audience, they only know him for Twilight, and it's kind of sad.
This will change their minds.
Yes, I can see it. If he bulks up, I can totally see him as a young Bruce Wayne. I could totally see it.
Can't wait.
Yep. That's my cue to myself to put that there, even though I can't see it in the timeline, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I was telling my friend David the other day? I was telling him it would benefit us to put video in this sometimes, because sometimes we make noises or we make gestures and people they don't have context. Remember when I was flipping your little plushie doll?
Yeah.
And you're like, no! Don't touch him! Don't touch him! And it was just like, what? And you're like, oh, that's whatever.
That's Kuroko.
That's
She's right
Kuroko.
behind you.
There he is. Yeah,
boy.
see, I listened to that part on the podcast. It didn't make any sense. It was just like, what just happened?
Yeah. You know what you should do if you wanna find like a little bookmark to where you should put in the thing.
Yeah.
Just scream into the mic, and there's so it shows a little like big like
spike.
It's a big spike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got you. Oh, God. So you don't want me touching Kuroko?
No, I don't care.
What
It's
if
funny.
Ooh. What is he from?
He's from Kuroko no Basket. It's
Kuroko no
a
Basket.
basketball anime.
For those of you who need a context, I'm holding a plushie doll of this anime character.
Yeah.
And
He's great.
he's great.
He's got like a superpower where he basically is invisible, so like he just kind of like teleports on the basketball
A
court.
basketball anime, huh?
It's awesome.
All right. Interesting. So I'm going to flip him. Ooh, flipped him.
Oh boy. Okay, you're done with Kuroko. Put him away.
Wait, you don't like it when I do that to him?
I don't like. Please stop.
For those of you listening, I'm doing a very obscene gesture
Yeah, I don't
with
like
this
it.
doll.
I don't like it. This is about the time that we move on to trailers.
Trailers.
Am I right?
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Maleficent
2.
Mistress of Evil.
Well, obviously I haven't seen the first one.
I have only seen parts of the first one, and every part I have seen, be it on TV or whatever,
Is bad.
it doesn't interest me. It just looks very bland.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't even look like terrible to me. It
Actually-
just looks very bland.
Yeah, I kind of thought that way about this movie too. Like,
Yeah.
the visuals were like just super unappealing.
It seems like they are kind of taking Maleficent back to her roots, because in the first one, didn't they try to make her like a sympathetic villain?
Not a single clue.
Yeah, like
I
that's
don't
what I
know a
thought. Like
damn thing
I
about
thought they
it.
tried to make her sympathetic and actually try to turn her into a hero. This one, they're like, nope, Mistress of Evil.
Yeah,
It's like, okay.
yeah. So,
Would you consider this, because this kind of happened before Disney started doing their live action remakes? Would you consider this part of that or no? Because it is a different interpretation of Sleeping Beauty. It's different.
I mean,
It's from a different perspective. So,
then I wouldn't really consider it because
Yeah,
those
me
are
neither.
like adaptations.
like, I wouldn't put it in the land of like Cinderella, Jungle Book, Lion King. I wouldn't do that, you know?
yeah.
So-
No, I wouldn't consider it. No.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
neither.
really know what they're doing with them.
Me neither. I didn't know they were making a sequel to this. It was announced on the slate when we talked about the Disney slate, and we're like, wow, that's happening. Didn't know that was happening. And then like the day
Yeah,
after.
didn't I say that it was like the third one? Because I thought there was a second one already.
No, yeah, you did say that, but this is the second one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy.
actually, I could say the same thing about another trailer that we're gonna talk about. I'm like, I thought this was the second.
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
like,
but it's the third.
Ah.
But yeah, Maleficent 2. I mean, yeah.
No,
No.
I'm not interested
I'm
personally.
not interested just because the first one didn't interest me at all.
Yeah, same.
So if you're a fan of the first one, you're probably excited. It's always cool to see Angelina Jolie. I mean, she rocks it,
She's really not that much anymore.
but she rocks it, man.
Sure, yeah.
She looks like Maleficent. The
She does
cheekbones,
look like that.
the cheekbones are really well. The casting is well done. I'm surprised. I mean, she hasn't done much. She's been directing a little bit, but yeah.
She comes out of her cave every once in a while.
Every once in a while, she has like 7 kids, doesn't she?
Yeah, a lot.
So yeah.
They can make a TV show out of her.
Oh God, no! I think, nope. They're not gonna Kardashian the Jolie Pitt family.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I feel like just right off the bat, I think we're gonna have a difference of opinion here because when we talked yesterday, you were like, "Oh, I don't think we're talking about any good trailers," and I actually like this trailer.
You like this trailer?
For Midsummer trailer
For
too.
Midsummer trailer too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's literally like watching the Hereditary trailer.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same type of thing. The drama's there. It seems like there's a lot going on in this trailer. Like there's little glimpses of like what could be happening. Like one chick's being like levitated off the ground. One dude like smacks a guy like he didn't have a V8 today, and his like the whole world just kind of warps for him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? And it's got me interested, but at the same time, Hereditary had the same thing, and I think there was just too much going on.
Yeah.
And then they kind of, like, wrapped it all up by one line that was uttered at the end of the movie. So, like, I'm concerned that it's literally going to do the same thing, but another thing that I have to say is that, like, there's a lot of cult movies out there.
Like, cult movies meaning movies with cults
in them. Yes, exactly. And what is this one going to do what is this one going to bring to the table that's different from the other one that's going to separate it?
Absolutely.
I think that it will definitely have something new to offer, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing.
You're right. I guess I didn't really judge the trailer on its own merit. I still have a bad taste in my mouth from Hereditary, or not even a bad taste, just kind of a bitter taste in my mouth. And I'm like, I feel like it just didn't sell me. It just didn't sell me on the premise. I feel like the premise could have been taken a little differently. On paper, I like the idea. Going to a festival that turns out to be a cult, right? Yeah. I think they should have went farther with it. I think it should have been almost like a parody of, like, or a satire on, like, festival culture, like Burning Man or Coachella, or, like, what's another one? I don't even know.
I don't know. It really depends on what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, but I feel like immediately the girl walks in there, it's like, oh no, this is a cult. That's immediately. I think it would have been more interesting if, like, she goes there and it is like a music festival. Like, it is like a Coachella type thing. And it's just a parody of that. I would have loved that. Because the Coachella as a show is, like, that's fine. I don't like the culture of Coachella. You know, all these girls and all these dudes go there, like, a bunch of, like, flower headbands, and they have to go because of their Instagram and, like, their public image and all that crap. You know, they don't even go for the music. They just go because of the culture.
Which is a damn shame, because I love the music.
Yeah, exactly. But Coachella's not about the music. Coachella's just about the culture and, like, to go, to tell people you went, and to post about it on social media.
I know this is way off topic, but I was actually watching the YouTube, like, when they were posting the live Coachella.
I watched the Hans Zimmer one, like, a couple years ago. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's sweet. I was watching one of the bands I really like called Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Yeah. And Janelle Monáe was there in the audience.
Wow.
Yeah, she was jamming to it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, holy shit. She likes psychedelic rock music. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Janelle Monáe, dude, is prime. It's true.
It's true. Damn it.
What?
No, it's funny to me.
I also watched this year's live Coachella or whatever. Was it 2018 or 2019 that came out? It was 2019, right? 2019 Coachella? Yeah. And the last one that happened, whatever. Mm-hmm. I clicked on the live YouTube thing and it was Blackpink, and I'm like, nope. Clicked on.
Blackpink.
Yeah,
oh,
you know the Korean.
Yeah. Because that's my game. They have a song in my game.
Oh yeah.
The Dance Rush.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yep. I'm like, nope. Clicked off.
No, babe.
Nope. Fuck no, babe.
That's my favorite.
Oh man,
that's still my favorite. So, like, has anything changed with you, or?
I'm just so cautiously optimistic because I was so burned with Hereditary, and I know this isn't Hereditary, but
yeah,
I feel a lot of the same vibes from Hereditary, so I'm just being very cautiously optimistic.
But the thing is, I think that Hereditary could have been good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could have been.
Oh
great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It could have been. It was on the track.
And maybe with another chance, maybe there's some redemption there.
Yeah. Plus, me and you are, like, the only ones who didn't like that movie, so you're right. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll like this one. Or we'll like it and everyone else will hate it. Watch that happen.
Now, that I'd be okay with, because in the end, at least I like it.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm probably more sold on it. But, again, this is a film I'll just have to check the reviews for. And I know that's kind of weird because Hereditary got great reviews. But I just want to be more cautious about it. And maybe I'll get some other opinions on it before I go see it, which I actually don't really do. I actually don't watch reviews until after the movie now, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's funny because sometimes we do a review on here and then I look up other reviews afterwards.
Because you want to get your own opinion.
Exactly.
Before, yeah.
And then we end up saying the same thing sometimes as these other people.
That's kind of interesting because we were I mean, I'll just give it away now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were going into Detective Pikachu, I did not see any reviews for it. Uh-huh. But going in, my friend was like, hey, I heard a lot of people that had seen it in Japan already that I really trust. they really liked it. They said it was great. And then I was like, oh shit, is this movie gonna be like great? Like everyone's gonna love this movie? And then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so I don't like to see reviews because I feel like it's going to influence me in some way, but that's not necessarily the case.
Exactly. Because I like to formulate my own conclusion to the movie, and then when I watch other reviews, sometimes they say the exact same thing I said, and I'm like, wow, like I agree. And then sometimes we're on different wavelengths, but it's interesting. But I like to formulate it by myself first, you know.
Yes.
Anyway, let's talk about our last trailer just real quick because there's really nothing. Angel Has Fallen. This is the trilogy, the Fallen trilogy. Olympus Has Fallen.
When was
London
the last time when London Has Fallen?
I don't know. London Has Fallen. I don't know. London Has Fallen, and then Angel Has Fallen. I never seen any of them. I don't really care about them.
I saw the first one. It was dog shit.
Yeah. I heard the next one, London Has Fallen, was really offensive because this was like it was released a couple months after the London terrorist attacks or whatever, or like some type of terror attack.
Oh man!
And people were like,
"That's tasteless."
It was tasteless, and a lot of people were saying the movie was really offensive. Even though it was slated to come out, but still, they probably should have pushed it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe they did.
They do that all the time.
Yeah, yep. Maybe they did. I have no idea. But, no. I honestly don't really, there's really nothing to say about it. These are just not my kind of movies. If you like both Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen, then you're probably looking forward to this. This is not the movie to keep action films alive.
No.
This is not that action franchise that we're hoping for.
No, that's John Wick, baby.
That's John Wick. Yep. There were better action franchises than the Fallen franchise. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I haven't seen them, but...
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I'll tell you right now, it's bad. It's terrible.
Okay. All right, jump into that conclusion.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, you saw Olympus, right?
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, Roland Emmerich did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some movies to talk about.
Don't leave now, the movie's not to come on!
Excuse me.
Hey, theater! What do you do when you get stuck on a movie line with a guy like this behind you?
Wait a minute, why can't I give my opinion? It's a free country?
Yeah, let's talk about Detective Pikachu, considering we...
Yeah. Very middle of the road.
Very middle of the road. I was very just lukewarm on it. It's definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen. I didn't regret seeing it. I just kind of walked out and I was like, all right.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's
you know what it is? It's like a vacuum movie. Or it's like a background noise kind of movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you're vacuuming your house, whatever, it's just
that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Because you really don't need to pay attention to that. The plot is very it's kind of unoriginal. Like I think the story beats are pretty unoriginal, and I think the dialogue is tremendous. It's like let's take every comedy's piece of dialogue that isn't funny and throw it in a movie.
Yeah.
The only exception that I'll make is with Ryan Reynolds. It almost felt like they let him write his own character because he really carried that movie for me.
Well, see, I kind of disagree because one of my gripes was Ryan Reynolds because I felt like it got too much to a point where after every single piece of dialogue, the characters would say Ryan Reynolds always had a retort every single time. And I was like, okay, dude, chill. Just chill. After anything said, after someone said anything, he had to come up with a quip right away. I'm like, dude, stop. Just stop.
See, yeah, I'm definitely, not in the same boat. I think he was the only, fun part about
At this point, how can you not believe in climate change?
I mean, I'm not saying, everything worked, but, I liked him just as, he's, even though he wasn't there...
He has charisma,
the charisma is still there.
The charisma is there.
It still seeps through his vocal performance.
The charisma is there, for sure. He definitely...
The only time I really laughed at what he had to say was when he was shouting for help, in the first scene that, help!
Yeah. I know, I liked it. It's just kind of midway through the film, especially when they're in the car is when I noticed it. When they're driving to, whatever, in that really tiny car. Mm-hmm. And then, the girl character and the dude are explaining the mystery or whatever. And then in the back is Pikachu with Psyduck. And Pikachu has to say something every single time. I'm like, can you just let me breathe, man? It's just let the audience breathe a little bit. But
Huh.
I have a little story with this movie, though.
Okay.
I'd already told you, but not them. So I saw it with my friend Mitch, who's a huge Pokemon fan.
Yep.
And I could have sworn this dude was, like, loving every minute of it. Because as soon as, like, the Pokemon appeared, I could just feel, like, the excitement in this dude, like, next to me. You know, I could just feel it. And, like, he was laughing at all the jokes. The dude was, like, fidgeting around when it was happening. Like, ooh, like, he's really into it. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, boy, I'm about to wreck this dude's dreams because I am not really feeling it. Like, whatever. And then after the movie, it ended, he's like, so what'd you think? And I'm like, I thought it was all right. And he's like, really? I didn't think it was that good at all. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. If the Pokemon fan didn't like it, and the Pokemon non-fan, such as myself, didn't like it,
I think my brother's we're in the same boat. My brother's a huge Pokemon fan, and he was like, "It's okay."
I think you're more Pokemon fan than me because I maybe recognized. I actually counted. I think I recognized 6 Pokemon, and that was it.
I've played I'm actually kind of replaying them. I'm on like the 5th gen right now.
Oh yeah.
And the funny thing is, I didn't like the 4th one because it was very forgettable when I first played it. I had just played it, thought it was good. I cannot tell you a single Pokemon.
Yeah. Doesn't your brother think this is in the same universe as the first animated Pokemon movie?
Yeah, because they had like one like
line
offline.
I think that was more of just an Easter egg.
It was an Easter egg. Yeah. Thank you for being on my side.
I heard that.
He's
yesterday.
like, well, Mega Evolutions do exist because it's in the same world, and Ash has Mega Evolutions. It's like, yeah, that's. I don't know if that logic applies because we haven't seen a Mega Evolution in the movie.
Right. I don't even know what Mega Evolution is, but yeah, it doesn't seem like.
Was that the wind?
It was the wind.
Holy shit, dude!
It's getting a hurricane. Yeah, one more to say about it. I will say this, though. I actually watched a bunch of visual effects artists critique, like, visual effects for movies. And they were talking about Detective Pikachu, and they were explaining how, like, the special effects are actually really good because of, like, the dynamics of the hair and all that, and, like...
oh, like on the Pokemon?
On the Pokemon and stuff. I think the character designs are really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And they look... the CG is blended really well in the real world, like with the lighting and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because they look real enough, but they still keep that cartoony... They didn't go full real, and I like that.
Yeah, the aesthetic is really good. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they kind of harken back to, like, the neo-noir kind of feel, because in the end it is, like, a detective story. So I like the lighting, and I'm like, okay, it's cool how they're doing, like, the noir-style lighting. And, but my main gripe, though, besides some of the acting, which we'll get into, is the mystery. Yeah. It's not interesting. The payoff is not great. And it's basically just handed to you. You don't really figure it out. Like, they kind of just go on long lines of exposition explaining the mystery to you. Yeah. And explaining their findings rather than just showing us and not telling us. They tell us. And I understand that this movie is made for kids, so you kind of want to introduce mystery and noir to them, but I feel like they could have done it just a little better.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. Just the story in general was just kind of like, it was a weird story to tell. You have the first time you're going to do live action and CGI with Pokemon, and you're going to tell the Detective Pikachu story. We said that off, like, I think when we reviewed the trailer, and I still stand by it because, like, there was moments when it was like they set up the Elite Four, and they showed it for, like, a glimpse, and I'm like, man, I would have really liked to see that as opposed to, like what
your classic,
tournament style that we were just talking about. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of potential in tournament films. But yeah, I mean, the action scenes were cool to see, like, the Pokemon fight each other and stuff like that. But another thing I also have a problem with is some of the acting, which I know a lot of it kind of stems from the directing, but they introduce this female character as, like, this almost, like, femme fatale. Her introductory scene is horrendous,
hot garbage.
It's real bad. The acting is real bad. Yeah. And you know what's weird? And I understand you tried to explain to me why. Like, I found it weird that after that scene, that character is completely different and she's not like that anymore. Yeah. I'm like, what just happened? What just happened here?
Yeah, I like I said, I think it was just a facade. She was just trying to put up a front for like how she wanted to present herself.
Yeah, no, yeah, she was trying to be more like relevant than she was or whatever.
Really fake.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh god.
So
that
maybe
offended me.
I think that's
So
kind of
bad.
what the direction she was giving was like act really fake, over the top, whatever. And she did her job, but I don't think it was a good choice.
No.
No, I think they should have just introduced her as a normal character, a normal journalist or whatever.
Normal journalist.
Which is what she becomes, but again, first impressions are everything.
Yeah.
So this girl is kind of getting a bad rap because they're like, oh, she's a bad actress. But I'm like, I don't think she's a bad actress. I've seen her in other things that are pretty good. But like...
Yeah, I agree.
But like, I think she was just, that one introductory scene was just not well done. Lighting was cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think... What else?
The villain?
I got another complaint.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you get to the villain,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
When I was watching this, and I didn't even know it was PG when I was watching it, and then I kind of figured it was after a while.
Mm-hmm.
This was not enough to like sustain kids because I had seen Endgame twice. There was actual babies.
Yeah.
They were more cooperative and like
Interested.
well behaved than they were throughout this movie. These kids would not shut the fuck up.
Oh,
and
really?
I don't blame the kids whatsoever. I don't blame that because you'd think that this is a kids movie.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough to sustain kids.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're gonna have all these like these consequences that really don't matter in this movie, like you can remove all that and bump it up to a PG-13. The movie would be a lot better.
Kids are smarter than people give them credit for, and if you don't have interesting characters, kids aren't going to care.
Yeah.
They think, oh, put a bunch of flashing lights on screen and that'll be enough.
That's going to distract them.
No, they'll distract them. It's like, no, not really. No, but yeah, you're right. And another thing too is the villain is it's so obvious. It's so obvious. As soon as that actor appeared on screen, I'm like, yep, that's the villain.
Yep.
It was easy, and then guess what? It was. They tried to throw you through this red herring. Nope. That's the villain.
Dude, but the reveal even after that it had me laughing. Like the worst kind of way. It was so laughable.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Yeah. So we're still waiting. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen by any means.
It has some qualities.
It has some qualities. It's not bad. It's not great. They did put effort into it, I think, especially in some areas.
Yeah.
Especially more than like.
I think there's some good moments in that.
Yeah,
movie.
there's some good moments. I could watch some of these moments out of context and enjoy myself, but watching it in the context of the film is not.
I like the Mr. Mime one.
The Mr. Mime scene was great.
Yeah.
And I also really like the fight between Pikachu and Charizard.
Oh yeah.
And what's the dude? The turtle, Blastoise, right?
Blastoise.
And what's that?
Gengar.
Gengar. I thought that was cool. I'm like, cool.
I wish they wouldn't have cut away from it so many times.
True.
It's like how did he win? I want to know.
True. Well, Gengar won, right?
Gengar won. How did he win?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no world in which Blastoise should have won anyway. So
yeah. No. I mean, I see. Even the Pokemons. I only knew 6 Pokemons that I knew and could name, but some of them I do recognize. Like like the snake, the purple snake. I don't know what its name, but I know what it is.
Arbok.
Yeah. Or like the weird like gas. Like it has 2 heads. It's like kind of like 2 asteroids, and it's like really gas. It's like purple.
Wheezing.
Yeah, whatever.
Wheezing. The floating one.
Yeah, the floating one.
Yeah, Wheezing.
See, so I know some Pokemon. I just can't name them. You know what I thought they were gonna do, and this is kind of a mild spoiler. Mm-hmm. They find a drug named R, and I was like, is this going to be like a Team Rocket thing?
That's what I was wondering.
I was like, are they going to introduce Team Rocket? Maybe post-credit scene or something like Team Rocket? Nope.
I honestly thought, like, just because how fake she was, I thought that chick was Team Rocket.
Oh, she's the girl with the red hair or whatever?
No, the journalist.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I mean. The journalist. Like, she's the girl with the red hair, like, from the cartoon?
Yeah.
Because the girl from the cartoon has, like, a giant red hair.
Jessie, yeah. Jessie.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been... See, now that would have been a cool twist. I would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah. Better than the twist they had, which was not even a twist.
Yeah.
Overall, not bad, but not great.
I'm going to give it a low 5. There you go.
Low 5. I'm in the same 2.5. I'll boost it up to a 3 just because I had some fun. But it's a very soft 3.
Yeah.
It's 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. So
all right.
We got... one movie.
You want to talk about the 400 Blows, or you want?
Yeah, we'll talk about the 400 Blows.
All right, so
we got to stretch our brains real quick.
Yeah, 400 Blows. Let me tell you something. it takes me a while to digest movies sometimes. It takes me a while to sleep on it. I liked the film when I saw it, and when it ended, but I needed to marinate on it.
Yeah.
Fucking love this movie, dude. I love this movie.
Yeah, it's a
it's
fantastic
amazing.
movie.
It's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It speaks to me on a personal level so much.
Dude, I can relate so hard to this movie, especially with like the family dynamic and stuff like that.
Yes.
Woo!
For those of you who don't know, The 400 Blows is Francois Truffaut's film from 1959 that you said predated Breathless by a year.
A year, yeah.
So technically, it kind of started the French New Wave movement.
Yes,
of France.
There was still they would still develop it a little bit further, especially with the editing. The editing wasn't that like.
There were still some hints of tradition in The 400 Blows as opposed to something like Breathless.
It's just the focus was so drastically different.
Yes, because the French New Wave movement, for those of you who don't know, is kind of like an anti-Hollywood movement that the French filmmakers kind of went on, where they're like, we're going to go against tradition and break the norm. Mm-hmm. So they did things like handheld camera, natural lighting, jump cuts was huge, nonlinear storytelling. They wanted to break tradition and break barriers of what it meant to do film. And this, you can see elements of that. But I think Breathless kind of took it to the next level. Because there still is a tradition.
Francois Truffaut, if I'm not mistaken, is a writer
of Breathless. Yeah, he was part of it. He was supposed to do it, and then he gave it to Jean-Luc Godard. But point is, like, this is still much more focused than something like Breathless.
Yeah, it's for me, it's a little bit more of like an Italian realist film. Mm-hmm. I mean, even the family dynamic isn't very exaggerated in like any way. It's a very normal lifestyle.
Exactly.
But kids, if there's any hint of like dissatisfaction, it becomes bad to them, and they need to move away from it.
And I think, in all honesty, too, this shows how kids are a product of their environment, whether that environment may be good or bad.
Yeah.
And
it helps shape their identity.
It shows, and what I like about this film is that there's no melodrama. There's zero melodrama.
Almost not at all. Yeah.
And that's another reason I like the French New Wave movement. There's no melodrama. Some people might look at it and say it's pretentious. I don't think so. I think, especially for when it came out during that time, they were trying to make a statement, and I think they made that statement pretty well. This, I just related to the kids so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're right. At that time, 1959, you rarely had character studies like
this.
Yeah,
the character pieces were they wouldn't do anything that wasn't like glamorous.
Yeah, and I love how it shows that like the parents are projecting their own faults and their own insecurities onto their children, which so many parents do nowadays. And it's so sad. Yeah. And then they blame the kid for lashing out when in reality it's their own fault. Not always, but a lot of times, Yeah. And that's what this movie shows. It's like these parents are failures, dude. They may seem on the surface like they're great, but they're not great parents.
No, not at all. So here's the thing, and this is something that's interesting because I'm in class and stuff like that, and I get to read like what other people are saying about the movie.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, like this movie didn't really feel like it had that much of a structure, like an objective to it. I mean, it did, but like these people didn't even realize. They kind of didn't realize that there was that objective of like the kid trying to leave this lifestyle, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But the way that it presents itself is definitely not like a Hollywood film whatsoever.
No, not at all.
They really lay it on thick. In this movie, it's kind of like just an offhand conversation.
Yes, like even, not to spoil it, but even at the end, when the kid's having the conversation with someone who's kind of just relaying everything that happened, where the kid has to explain all of his actions to this adult.
Yep.
That, first of all, that's an amazing performance.
It's fantastic.
It's such a good, and there's no melodrama, dude. It's real, and you could tell that it's so real.
Yeah, one of the things that I think separates this child performance from like any other was the fact that he didn't feel like a child.
Yeah,
he was very grown up, and he had mannerisms that felt too mature for his age. Yeah. And he was only 15 when he played this character and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
he looked younger than 15, in all honesty.
Yeah, he did. There's one part where like this one adult can potentially take away his future.
Yeah.
And he threatens him. He like puts his like fist up to him and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And like it looked like another adult like fighting with another adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's what it shows, though. It shows it shows that like wisdom does not equal maturity, and age does not equal maturity either, or wisdom.
Yeah.
Because you see these parents and you see these adults making these like very wrong decisions. Like the mom makes a decision, and the kid catches the mom doing this decision, and it's like that's not.
It's a great
right.
it's a great topic of conversation that like even the people that they have careers and stuff like that, and they're grown up. They have their own homes and stuff like that. They don't have it figured out.
They
either.
don't. No, they don't. And it's sad because they project the fact that they don't have it figured out. They take it out on their kids.
Yep.
And that's horrible. And that's what these parents do. And I can relate to that, personally. And I'm pretty sure you can, and almost anyone can. Anyone can. And dude, this movie is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
I'd give it a fucking 7 out of 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually had to rewatch it a little bit because there was a couple of times where there was just a lot distracting me in the room.
Right. No,
like
I got
there
you.
was my roommates came out and stuff like that, so I was like, I have to rewatch it. And there were some parts where I was like, I did not pick that up when I first watched it.
For sure.
And I was like, okay, I'm glad I rewatched it.
No, yeah, thank God there were subtitles because I was really trying to.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's tough sometimes.
No, it's fine.
It was like the worst time to do it too.
Right.
But I had so many. I had to write 2 papers on this movie.
No, yeah. But point is, I still saw enough to have it resonate with me, and this is an amazing film. I gave this baby a 5 out of 5, 100%.
Yeah. There's really nothing that I can say that no flaws to this movie for its time. And I do gotta say, another interesting thing about this is why I like listening to what people have to say about a movie is because I get to see where their mindset and what they had imagined that the director was trying to say. Some people think that this ending is ambiguous.
Yeah.
I don't really think it is at all. I
Really?
think with that quick famous freeze frame, I think he says what he wants to say.
Yeah.
And I think it's undoubtedly
yeah. I love
it's written in stone.
You see, I love the ending as well, and you're right. I think it's very poignant though, and I think that's something we can all relate to. Especially me going through life now, I can relate to. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but when he's looking through it, I'm like, yeah, I feel that way too, kid. Where do we go from here? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
This is a tremendous film.
Yeah, so I gave it 5 out of 5. What are you giving it?
I give it a 10.
Oh, a 10 from T-Kettle.
It's not that okay. Let's just be real. I've given more 10s than you've given 5s on this podcast.
Is that true?
Yeah, but then again, I think I watch more films than you.
Mm-hmm.
You all right there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm texting David back.
Is he talking shit about me?
Yes, he is. He somehow is listening to the podcast live somehow.
Where you at?
Where you at? Where you at?
Yeah. So I mean, it's really,
yeah.
It's a piece of history.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So let's go a complete 180 and talk about John Wick. Chapter 3.
I'm sorry that you don't get to participate in this
I did not get to participate. Is it cool? You can just talk about it. And I'm just going to stretch my legs real quick.
By leaving the room?
I need to get a water.
Okay.
So
John Wick 3, which I'd seen twice. It's awesome. If you had seen these movies and you were like, hey, him killing 3 people with a pencil sounds really cool, and you want that type of resourcefulness, you're gonna get into this movie. It's awesome. I don't really want to talk about the premise because that would spoil what happens in the second one. But I'll say that if you've seen any of these movies, you know that it's kind of confusing on it's world building. They're very vague, and there's so many questions that you probably have with it. In this movie, they've kind of added a hierarchy and some rules to their world, and it's kind of given it a little bit more structure, which is something that I definitely appreciate about the movie. But in all honesty, it's still a bit off-putting in some areas.
In what way?
You've seen moments in these movies and everything seems like a front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really what it is, and it's what
at the
is
end
actually
what is actually
what it looks like. Like, even a homeless man isn't what he just appears to be. And that was kind of upsetting in that movie, because in the second one, I feel like they threw too many, like, conveniences his way to, like, in his favor, so he would avoid a situation, like, really quickly, like, or whatever, and, like, get away scot-free.
Yeah.
In this movie, they didn't really do that, which is pretty nice, but there's still some off-putting moments where it's like, what is this person? Like, what, like...
So is that a good thing?
Who are they? Like, it leaves you, like, with questions, but...
Isn't that a good thing, though? Because wouldn't you be on the edge of your seat the entire time? Like, is this person who they say they are? Or...
No, but it's not like questions like that. It's more like questions is like, who does, like, where does this person rank in this hierarchy? Like, what's their importance? What are they even doing in this place? It's kind of like that kind of question.
Okay.
And it's like kind of confusing in some areas, but that's just the way that John Wick has been. It gets a little bit more extravagant in this movie. Like, there's some really cool exotic locations in this movie. There's some really cool set pieces. But really what these movies come down to, what it really boils down to, is how is the murder death? Is the murder death good? And it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you heard that this movie has more action in it than both combined?
I have not heard that. Is
Dude,
that true?
It's true.
Damn, I gotta see this.
It's fucking nuts. It's almost nonstop.
Damn.
And like, when we were watching it, Jake leaned over and he's like, I can count on one hand how many action scenes that I've seen better than this first one. And it's true. And then I don't think that's the best one in the movie.
Damn.
They're so good. They're so fucking good, dude.
I need to see it. Dude. I'm so pissed.
Holy shit. If I wasn't busy today, I would totally go with you. Actually, now just talking about it, I really want to see it again.
Damn.
Like, his, what is it, Stalsky? Oh, Stalsky? Something like that.
Oh, Chad...
Stalsky.
Yeah, something like that.
Stahelsky.
Yeah.
He has improved with his directing style a lot in this movie, and I think that there's definitely some more experimentation, some more creativity to the sequences, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think, anything can be a weapon in this movie. It's awesome.
Damn.
Like, I can't even fucking explain it without spoiling it. So just know that these hypnotic action sequences, they were just so good that anything that I was thinking was like, this is kind of weird, it would completely kind of like erase my mind. I'm like, I don't even care.
Right.
I don't even care, because this is like, it's like, what, 2 hours and 10 minutes? An hour and a half of it is action.
Damn.
Probably.
That's awesome. I need to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a high 9.
Ooh.
It's he's really become like the next John Woo.
Yeah.
With his, like, they've always described him as like ballerina like esque dances with gunplay, and that's what he has become.
That's
the
crazy.
Choreography is insane.
That's crazy, man. I'm telling you, because first it was Chad Stahelski and David Leitch who did the first one, and then they kind of broke off, and David Leitch did Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, and Hobbs and Shaw, which is coming up.
Yeah,
and then Chad Stahelski stayed with John Wick, but they both have proved to. I'm glad these people are trying to keep the action genre alive.
And they keep giving him more money for this movie. This movie is it's got $10 million more than the last one, putting it at like about $55 million estimated.
Damn, I gotta see it.
Yeah, fucking awesome. You do have to see it.
Fucking great.
Fucking awesome.
Dang.
There's not a lot of action movies that compare to this one.
I need to see
it. And if you were wondering, it's the best. It's my favorite one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So
high
9.
High 9.
Did you make a hot list? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my own hot list. How does that feel, you little bitch?
All right, list, baby.
List. So I don't think my list is very interesting. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I didn't do a lot of homework with it either, because I went out last night instead. Yeah. So maybe you got something that's like gonna blow my mind. Like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, sorry.
And another one is just this list.
It's top 5 sequels, by the way.
Top 5 sequels, because we were like, hey, yesterday we were like, hey, we didn't come up with a list.
Yeah.
And then we just whipped it together.
Yeah, let's think of something easy. So we did top 5 sequels, which was very easy.
It was very easy.
I do have a lot of honorable mentions.
I have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
13.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 18.
Okay.
So should I do 4 then? And then
Sure, sounds good.
we'll be... All right, my first is Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
Fantastic. Love it. The prequel-sequel storyline.
So does that mean you like the sequel better than the original?
I think I do, but I don't like the actual movie. The actual movie is not as impactful to me as my top 5, I don't think.
So I'll just say this right off the bat.
Yeah.
That movie's not on my list because I like the first one better. But it's almost like
even
irrelevant.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing with me too. I don't really know, but I just put it on there as an honorable mention because I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
My next one is Evil Dead 2. Haven't seen the original, that's why it's an honorable mention. I'm sure it is better. I'm almost 100% certain it's better.
Evil Dead 2 is also on
Evil Dead 2 is great. And then The Purge 2, way better than the first one, I thought. And I actually like the first one, which is crazy. And then my last one before we are even is Aliens. James Cameron's Aliens.
You like Aliens better than Alien?
I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I do not. See, this is where the list is going to get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, which one is your favorite entry?
Yeah,
That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's another thing, too. We can put something like Harry Potter Part 7 because that's our favorite sequel in that trilogy. You just can't put something like 6 and 7.
Yeah, you can't have like all of them because you like all of them better than the first one.
Yeah, so
if
like
that was the case.
So a number 2 doesn't necessarily mean that, you know?
Okay. Well, since we're talking about Harry Potter, then I should just say my favorite of them is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yep.
I think it's easily like the best directed one.
Yeah,
Alfonso
100%.
Cuarón's
He's
insane.
amazing.
I think the storytelling is really good, and I think that this is my favorite part in the franchise where like they start to become adults, but their like hormones just don't completely ruin them.
Yeah.
So I love it, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah. Mine is, I'm just gonna skip ahead here and say my favorite Harry Potter film. And this is a controversial one because a lot of people don't like this one.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I loved it, man. This is when the shit hit the fan, and I loved the ending. I just really loved it. Okay, I actually put Prisoner of Azkaban at first, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna feel guilty for liking Order of the Phoenix the most. Bam.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
You should
exactly.
feel guilty, but I will say that is my least favorite entry.
Yeah, that's everyone's least favorite entry. But dude, I love it. I thought Half-Blood Prince was worse, to be real with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Half-Blood Prince is the 6th one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one I didn't like at first, and then I rewatched it like a couple years ago, and I loved it.
Okay.
I think it's like my 3rd favorite one.
Maybe it's one of those. Maybe I was still young enough to be like, there's no action. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Oh, but some of the character situations are so good.
I really need to check it out. But, yeah, that's my favorite Harry Potter film. Order of the Phoenix. Sue me.
Sue me.
Sue me.
That's the tagline for this list.
Yeah.
Sue me.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably no surprise. It's kind of a toss-up between 2, but Fury Road is probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't really need to talk about a lot of these because like we've talked.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
that's true.
It's like beating a dead horse
at
this point.
Oh yeah. My next one is Toy Story 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was Toy Story 2, but after thinking about it, I think I might like Toy Story 3 a little more, which I know you don't agree with, but I was like,
yeah.
You know.
Toy Story 1 is my favorite. So.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. No surprise here. Civil War is the best of the Captain America movies.
Yep.
I'm assuming. Oh, that's what I got.
Oh, is that it? Okay, yeah.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Really, like,
yeah,
like it's just it's pretty much like a Avengers movie.
Absolutely. Dark Knight is my next one.
Dark Knight. Okay.
The Dark Knight.
Yep. Skyfall is my favorite
of the modern James Bond.
Of the modern James Bond.
Cool. Bourne Ultimatum is my favorite of the 3 Bourne movies. Or I guess there's 5 now.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't put it on here, but now I'm just gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of the original James Bond movies, my favorite is Goldfinger.
Okay. And that is the sequel.
That is the 3rd one.
It is. Dr. No, and then From Russia with Love, and then Goldfinger. Yeah. They're all great.
It's awesome.
I've seen them all.
It's got like I have not seen them all.
I've not seen all the James Bonds, but I've seen all like the.
I actually hated James Bond for a while.
Really?
Because of The World Is Not Enough. That movie is complete dog shit. That was the first one I saw.
That's a weird one to start with.
Because I had it on VHS when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, it was just there at my disposal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a very weird one to start with. The World's Not Enough came out in like 1990 something.
97, I believe.
97, so yeah. You missed like a 20-year history.
So then, like, when I moved to Florida, I'm like, you know what, I gotta give these another shot. So pretty recently, I got into James Bond.
Oh, they're great. I've seen 90% of them. There's still a couple I haven't seen, but...
Yeah, actually, Skyfall is the one that got me into them, and I'm like, okay, they're more than meets the eye.
Yeah,
so then I was like, I gotta go.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
You gotta go back, Jack.
My next one is Superman 2, specifically Richard Donner cut. I don't know if I like it more than the first one. That's why it's an honorable mention, because I don't know.
Sometimes you just don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite of the new Star Trek movies is Into Darkness. I think
that's a good one.
Khan is a really good villain in there. Benedict Cumberbatch did a really good job, and I really like the way that they took some of the character arcs that were like this character does this, but then they kind of flipped it.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
That was
really
good.
Interesting watch.
That was really good. I think I might like Beyond more, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I like them both. They're really good. I like that whole series.
Yeah.
My next one is Fury Road. Fantastic.
Yep. Next, Days of Future Past is like my favorite. The X-Men movies.
Oh, okay.
That's a great movie.
That is. My next one is Ghost Protocol, favorite of the Mission Impossible films. It was gonna be like, was it like Rogue Nation Fallout? But I really love Ghost Protocol. I really do.
I have Fallout on here, so Fallout.
Okay, all right, yeah. And then Return of the Jedi. That's an honorable mention.
That's an interesting. I like that you put that on there.
Yeah.
Because I figured you were gonna put Empire Strikes Back.
Well, maybe Empire Strikes Back is not an honorable mention. Maybe it's the...
Wait a minute. So you did another...
You can't put them on the same list, is what I was saying. As like the same thing. So like my number 5 can't be Empire Strikes Back / Return of the Jedi.
Oh!
Is what I meant.
See, I thought you meant just like you had to put your favorite one. That's it.
No, dude, not for honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, who cares?
Okay, you're that's fair. That's totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
John Wick 3.
All right, there you go. There you go. Skyfall is on here.
Okay, awesome. We agree on that. Terminator 2.
Nice.
My favorite. I think some of these, even though we really haven't talked about it in like great detail, they really don't need that much explanation.
No,
like T2 is like
it's amazing.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah. My next one is The Beginner. I consider them two different trilogies. So I put X2 is my favorite of the original X-Men trilogy, and then for the reboot trilogy is Days of Future Past, 100%.
Okay, cool, excellent. Endgame is my favorite of the...
Nice.
I actually said it. There you go. Remember I was on the fence?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. I put Endgame. I didn't even think to put Infinity War.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. My next one is Logan. It's my favorite Wolverine sequel.
Okay. Out of the Planet of the Apes movies, Dawn is my favorite.
Yeah. I didn't put Planet of the Apes because I haven't seen Dawn yet, so I just wanted to...
The parallels between, like, humanity and, like, the apes and how, like, the war on both sides were so similar. It was such good, parallels. It was awesome.
These last 3 are so weird. I'm just warning you.
Can't wait.
Annabelle Creation.
Okay.
Really
wait, I got, do I have another one? I feel like I have another one. I already said that one. Okay. This one, I'm surprised we've never really talked about these movies. So, The Raid 2.
Oh, yeah.
The Raid 2 is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that the action that they do have in it is, like, infinitely better than the original one. Not infinitely better. That's a strong word. But it's better. I think that the build-ups to the fights are really good. The cinematography is awesome.
Oh yeah.
The choreography is stellar, and I really like. This is one thing that like all my friends say is like the worst part of it. I do like the kind of like mafia storyline that they got going on, and how he's got to like kind of climb the ranks in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because they got to climb the levels, the floors for the first one, and then this one he's just basically just like doing that but with like reputation.
What's the subtitle, like Burn Doll or something like weird like that?
For what? What do you mean?
For Raid 2, because it's the Raid 2 : starts with a B.
I actually don't even know.
Yeah.
I have it. Like, I could just go out and look at it.
Good, but
I'm lazy.
well. Yeah, because it's the Raid Redemption, the Raid something with a B, and then they haven't made a third one, right?
They were supposed to, but I think it got canceled.
Wasn't it going to be like a prequel, almost, or like?
No.
No.
It was supposed to take place 30 minutes after the second one.
Oh damn.
So.
All right. My next one, another weird one, Addams Family Values. I just really like it. I think it's better than the first one.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, we
one.
have.
That was on your Halloween list.
It was. And then, are you done? Or
yeah, that's
okay.
it.
My last one is The Conjuring 2. I think it's better than the first one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're on our top 5, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Who's gonna start?
You can start.
So I guess some of these we've definitely talked about them because we did our trilogies list and stuff like that, and most commonly like stuff that has like sequels comes in like a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So Before Midnight is my favorite entry of the 3 because I love the thrill of the chase. I love that you have to work to keep your relationships and stuff like that, and that one conversation can literally shatter history that you've built, the foundation that you've built with somebody, and it's we're so fickle.
Yeah,
and it's a lovely entry. I love it.
Nice, dude. My 5th is Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
It's my favorite out of the. It was very close between Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, but Empire Strikes Back just has the best character moments, best cinematography, best action beats of the entire original trilogy.
That's fair, but guess what? My favorite is A New Hope.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it.
That's why it's not.
I can see it. I can see it.
It's more so for innovation.
Yeah, that's true. A New Hope is very innovative, but sometimes I feel like you can tell that it, in comparison to Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, it's very low budget.
For sure, yeah.
And you can definitely tell.
No.
It is a very kind of small film, ironically, even though it's like the biggest film of all time. Small film, and then Empire kind of expanded on that world.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for being respectful, because most people are like, what? Like,
what?
They won't have it. They
yeah.
won't have it, and they think that it has to be debated. I actually wrote, one of the first things I ever wrote on my blog was why I liked A New Hope better, like best of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And
link in the description.
I was actually, I don't know if there will be, because it's probably not good now.
Oh yeah.
it's when I first started writing like stuff for like on the internet webs, putting myself out there.
Dope.
So I was shitty.
All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is
What's a golfer's favorite number?
The color red is my favorite of the Colors trilogy.
Nice. Would you call that like a sequel? I guess it's like a standalone sequel.
I mean, kind of. I mean, the only reason I do consider it is because all the characters like return.
Yeah.
In it.
That's true.
I mean,
kind
it's
of
debate. It's up for debate. I guess you're right.
I don't know if I'd consider it a sequel. That's why I didn't.
Yeah.
Put it
You know
on.
what? You know what is. I don't know if you have this on here. I don't want to spoil anything for you. But there was one movie in particular where I'm like, is this a sequel?
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait until the end of it before I ask.
I'm sure it's not on my list.
Okay, then here we go. Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Manhunter.
Yeah.
I mean, because
it's like the same story.
It's a different, but it's a different. The only thing that really keeps it together is Hannibal Lecter.
Right.
It's a different like main character. It's a different like villain.
Mm-hmm. I definitely consider it more of like a remake.
So then maybe that was not the best. If I had to like switch things up and like change, I don't even know what I would do, because fuck, these movies are so good.
They are good.
Like, all these movies are so good. I don't fucking know. Just whatever. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Color Red.
Color Red is so good. Next one is Captain America: Civil War.
Okay.
It's the best of the entire freaking Captain America films, and like we've said many times, the Captain America films are the only Marvel films that have, I guess, besides because the Avengers had a dip too. So yeah, Captain America
only gotten better.
Yeah, Captain America films are the only films that have gotten better with each one. Mm-hmm. You know, I love them. I love the Captain America films, and I love Captain America. He's the best.
Miniature Avengers, and yes,
yes.
I do
the
agree.
fact that they balanced so much, and they pulled it off amazes me. Mm-hmm. That movie just amazes me how much they pulled off. all these different storylines, all these different characters.
Yeah, it was the prototype for Infinity War.
100%. Everyone has an arc. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. My number 3 is The Dark Knight. Come on. You knew it was coming.
Yeah, I did know it was coming, but I've told you I like Batman Begins better as well, I think.
Which is funny that it's you put it on your honorable mention.
Yeah, because it's close.
It's close.
It's close.
I'm telling you, I just rewatched them like 2 weeks ago. If you rewatch them, I think you might have it, just because like the thing that really separates the two is how the universe of The Dark Knight, the city in particular, constantly is shifting. Like there's so much things that like gears keep turning, and it changes everything. There's like a domino effect, and there's so many clashes, and it's like the mob is clashing with the Joker, and the Joker's clashing with Batman, and the Batman's clashing with the mob, and Harvey Dent is clashing with the mob. There's so much going on, and it's so fluid.
That's
the
dope.
fact that they're able to balance it out it's mind-boggling.
Damn. I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it. It's classic. Yeah, a lot of these are very obvious.
Yeah.
Including my number 3, which is Terminator 2.
Yeah.
It's like such a good sequel. I've seen Terminator 2 so many times.
Same.
It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. I'm not even gonna
elaborate.
You're not even gonna elaborate, because every single Terminator film that's come after this masterpiece, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
I actually got to watch it with my little brother, because he was going through a sci-fi phase. So I'm like, I'm going to show you every sci-fi movie that you need to see.
Yeah.
And we watched T2, and he had no clue what was going to happen. He didn't even know about the about the Terminator, like what was going on with him. So like when he saw it, he was like, oh
damn. That is a good twist, especially if you watch the first one.
And you don't know what's going on in the second one. Like it's it's so good. So. Yeah, that was a cool moment between me and him. Is that all you got to say about it?
Yep. What else am I going to say?
I mean,
it's Terminator 2.
The same thing with my number 2. Like, what am I going to say about The Good, the Bad, the Ugly that I
Sorry, I'm stretching.
that I haven't already said.
That's true.
So, I'm not even going to say anything.
All right. My number 2, Avengers Endgame.
There it
It's
is.
so good. I know it's a little premature to put it as my number 2 best sequel ever, but dude, as a lifelong comic fan, this is literally my dream come true. It is it's not just a sequel to the Avengers. It's almost like a sequel to everything that came before it. And it's amazing. I love it. So good.
I know what your number 1 is, but
Yeah.
do you know what my number 1 is? It's pretty obvious.
You said Good, Bad, and the Ugly. What's the first letter?
B.
No, I don't know it.
Blade Runner
2049. Oh, yeah, I should have guessed that. I
so
forgot about that. I'm putting that as an honorable mention.
Blade Runner 2049 is like my 5th favorite movie of all time right now. I adore this movie. And I haven't really talked about it, which is funny because I love it so much.
Yeah.
All I've said is that I love it. So what's so amazing about this movie is how different it is from the original. The original was just very, very innovative with its style and with its technology and stuff like that, and it had such a grounded story that you didn't really need to focus all that much on the story. It's basically just like, hey, hunt down these 4 guys. But like it evolves from there because you have these characters that are very sympathetic, and you kind of come to the realization that like this world is fucked up, and that everybody's just a bunch of prejudiced assholes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And these people have gotten the short end of the stick. And so why it's so beautiful that Roy is such a great character, and he's like a side character that's in it for such a little bit amount of time. He's such a good tragic character, and the same can be said about so many small characters in this movie. So I felt like they kept the essence of Blade Runner in this movie, and additionally, like the technology has increased since Blade Runner. And this movie looks fantastic.
So good.
Like Joy, there's so many good like spectacle of this movie. Like my favorite scene in the entire movie, just like visually, is when it's such a good storytelling moment too. When Joy, which is the main character's like household wife,
yeah, basically.
But she's like a hologram. She contacts a prostitute to sync up, so the two of them fuse into one another, and they sync up, and they like have sex with him, and she allows this AI to have sex with him because she's so like generous, and she's selfless. She's awesome. She's like the perfect wife. And oh my god, their story arc is so good.
It ends in such a kind of a bittersweet note, though. Kind of like a bitter note, actually. It's kind of sad,
dude. But it's so beautiful.
It is.
And that moment, there's a scene where there's 10 fingers caressing his back, because it's all of them like together. But it's such a cool moment because you get to see how she looks at him, the AI looks at him, and you get to see how passionate Joy is.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that you get to see the reaction and the action and reaction or whatever, like in the same shot, like the parallels between the two. It's awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Denis is such a good storyteller. That's why he's my favorite director. And there's just like the racism, I guess you could call it, the prejudice against the AI. It's such a good backdrop. It's so barren. The world is so desolate.
So good.
And yet it's surrounded by life, because you get so much emotion from these characters that shouldn't really have emotion. Mm-hmm. And that's why I find like the movie so beautiful. And I've cried during this movie too at one time. Like, it's just that good to me. I love it.
It's such a good movie. And now my number one sequel is one I can't elaborate on anymore. Yeah, you know what it is. What is it?
Spider-Man 2. It's
Spider-Man 2, of course. The reason Spider-Man 2 is my favorite sequel ever is because, look, I love something like Avengers Endgame. I do. Avengers Endgame is a huge spectacle film. Spider-Man 2 is a character film, and I love character. And I think in terms of just elevating not only superhero films to a new standard when it comes to character, but just being better than the first one. It's so amazing. Like, this movie has so much heart to it, and it's so deep in its philosophical kind of narrative. You know, there's a lot of philosophical questions that are asked in this movie. Like, should you put your responsibility to the city and to, you know, protect others above your own happiness? And that is such a huge question, because in the movie, Spider-Man, he doesn't. He chooses to give up that responsibility to be happy until he realizes that it's almost kind of Batman-esque, almost like he can't really be happy. Mm-hmm. He can't really be happy because he has that responsibility of being Spider-Man. He can't give up letting what happened to Uncle Ben happen to anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He needs to protect the city. But then at the end, it kind of shows that, you know what? Maybe the hero can be happy and have responsibility at the same time.
Like a happy medium.
A happy medium. And it's fantastic. I love this film. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's my favorite sequel.
It's an amazing Spider-Man.
It's an amazing Spider-Man movie. I was at Comic-Con this weekend, by the way, and it was pretty awesome because they expanded the suburban showplace, so there was a lot more there, and they were selling like He-Man comics. I'm like, who is he, man? Like, who is he? Who is he, man? You know?
Uh-huh.
I thought it was funny. Who is he, man? Get it? Do you get it? Do you get it?
No, I guess not.
You don't get it because his name is He-Man? Like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe?
Yeah.
I'm like, who is he, man?
The comma is the joke.
Yeah,
really, in all
exactly.
honesty.
I'm like, who is he, man? That was funny.
Nice. So, that's our list. I don't think it's all that... I don't think it's all that shocking.
No, not at all.
So then we're gonna have to mix it up on this next one. So let me pull up my my things real quick.
Okay.
Because
are you gonna decide it right here on the podcast?
I think I am actually.
Okay.
The next thing that we are gonna do, because we're gonna put some work into this next one.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna put some work. We're gonna do director send-offs. Does that sound fun?
Oh damn! Okay.
The last movie a director made.
The last movie a director made. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm down.
So we're gonna be talking about a lot of legends, because people that have released their last movie and then had like passed.
Yeah.
So that.
Or maybe retired.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Damn, I might actually have to watch some movies for this one.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
I just thought about that.
That's gonna be.
Fuck.
Interesting.
I made a bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
Subject to change. I'm just Yeah. So what do we got?
Terminator 2 is one of the best sequels of all time, right?
Of course.
So, you know what? The best moment of that film is that twist when he turns out to be good. And the line he uses to show that twist is, "Come with me if you want to."